iPhone Fold to pave way for thinner, brighter display on iPhone Air 2. The iPhone Fold will be the first Apple gadget to employ a Samsung-made OLED technology called color filter on encapsulation, which might make the display brighter and thinner than prior panels, claims the ELEC. In a standard OLED panel, a polarizing layer sits above the display to eliminate reflections and boost contrast. The downside is that this coating also absorbs some of the OLED-owned light, limiting brightness and efficiency. With color filter on encapsulation, Apple would remove the polarizer entirely and instead place the color filter directly onto the OLED protective encapsulation layer. The outcome would be a smaller display stack that lets more light through, producing more brightness without consuming more power. Removing layers would also mean reduced thickness overall, potentially contributing to a smaller iPhone design. According to the ELEC, Apple aims to introduce color filter on encapsulation with its foldable iPhone, which might ship as soon as late 2026, before spreading the technology to the iPhone Air 2 in 2027. The latter's release has apparently been pushed back following weaker than expected sales of the original iPhone Air. If the color filter on encapsulation will be used, and if the iPhone Air 2 will be issued, will be resolved by the third quarter of this year, according to industry insiders cited by the Korean language publication. Samsung, meanwhile, wants to deploy color filter on encapsulation not just to its foldable Z Fold and Z Flip models, but also to the Galaxy S26 Ultra, anticipated in the first quarter of this year. The S26 Ultra will be Samsung's first non-foldable smartphone to incorporate the technology, which the firm refers to internally as on-cell film. Apple allegedly purchased a Chinese competitor's foldable smartphone to disassemble and research the inner screen, forming a solid development base for the iPhone Fold. Apple allegedly purchased a Chinese competitor's foldable smartphone to disassemble and research the inner screen, forming a solid development base for the iPhone Fold. Unlike other foldable smartphone designs, the iPhone Fold has been said to flaunt a crease-free inner display that would be helped by the usage of ultra-thin flexible glass technology of variable thicknesses. Samsung revealed this crease-free design at Consumer Electronics Show 2026, but Apple may not have begun the creation of its first foldable device had it not been for a Chinese competitor's cell phone. According to the newest rumor, this model in question gave a firm foundation due to its small form factor and the smoothness of the crease. A tipster believes that the Chinese competitor's foldable smartphone in question was the OPPO Find N5, and the smoothness of the screen was tough to achieve with the iPhone Fold. The OPPO Find N5 is the company's previous generation foldable flagship powered with a Snapdragon 8 Elite, but its form is perhaps more stunning than its internal specifications. After all, it flaunts a thickness of just 4.2 mm when entirely unfurled, paired with a greatly decreased crease. Based on Weibo tipster fixed-focus digital cameras allegations, the Find N5 became the standard for the iPhone Fold's development, as the technology giant purchased the gadget and disassembled it to measure this accomplishment. The new revelation suggests that Apple manufactured a lot of samples, but none of them could match the Find N5's interior display smoothness. The aforementioned panels were presumably for the prototype version of the iPhone Fold, which is reported to lack Face ID and will instead provide a side-mounted Touch ID sensor due to design problems, thanks to its thinner frame. Then again, we doubt Apple will debut an iPhone Fold with a noticeable seam because the company's engineers are believed to have been making exceptional efforts to distinguish the gadget from the competition. It is no secret that smartphone producers often analyze the designs of competing handsets in an effort to mass-produce a more refined version. Given that Apple is late to the foldable debut party, it presumably would have disassembled a few devices before taking inspiration from the Find N5. Samsung, which is considered the progenitor of the foldable form factor, is expected to embrace the iPhone Fold design by switching to a passport style outside later this year, so this rumor shouldn't appear as big or surprising. And finally, recent reports regarding the iPhone Fold indicate it could look a lot different from competing Samsung and Google models. The Z Fold 7 and Pixel 10 Pro Fold both seem like ordinary phones when folded and are nonetheless taller than broad when unfolded. With the iPhone Fold, rumors point to an exceptionally short but wide form when folded and practically an iPad mini when unfurled. Stephen Hackett of 512 Pixels 3D printed a mock-up, which Jason Snell wrote about at 6 colors in a piece titled, "Will the iPhone Fold be a phone you open or an iPad you close?" If these mock-ups are real, this folding iPhone is not going to be what you may have seen in your head. A current iPhone, about the shape of an iPhone Pro, that folds open to show a larger screen within. After looking at these 3D printed mock-ups and seeing a squat, paper notepad-shaped iPhone that unfolds into a small iPad, it seems pretty clear to me. If this is the shape of the iPhone Fold to come, Apple is focusing on it being an iPad you can fold up and stick in your pocket, not an iPhone that unfolds into two iPhones placed side by side. So that's all we know for now. We'll be sure to keep you updated as soon as we have more information. Thanks for watching.